What's going on, guys? This is Steph with the call center channel. Today I'm talking about the three most common problems in call centers. Call centers have been in business for years, and I am very grateful that I and a lot of people had opportunities thanks to call centers. Like any other business, there are always something that needs improvement. Let's get started. Number one, the training. Working at a call center requires very good training. There's so much to learn in a short time. Products that call center agents deal with cannot be studied within 1 to 2 weeks of training. Sometimes agents have to handle calls about a product they never had, saw, or used before, but they are expected to be able to handle calls about the product, meaning being able to give instructions or to troubleshoot the product when it's not working. Training is most of the time rushed because they need agents on the phone as soon as possible. Sometimes the trainer doesn't have enough knowledge about the product. When it comes to technology and equipment, most call centers don't have a lab and cannot afford to have agents going overseas to be trained. Some very few times, a trainer comes from overseas to train the first 1 or 2 waves, but no matter how good or knowledgeable the trainer is, training can't cover enough because the call center doesn't have the tools or equipment available other than a training manual, the company webpage, and probably some videos. It's like learning how to drive through videos but never get behind the wheel. Just imagine the results you get. Training or trainees need more hands-on and on-the-floor training rather than just sitting in a classroom for the whole process. Most call centers nowadays are paperless because they handle sensitive information, so not even notes can be taken. I know that there isn't such thing as the perfect training, but better trainings give better results. Number two, the supervisor selection. A call center supervisor is most of the time a former agent who was excellent on the phone. His or her numbers were great. The supervisor was very knowledgeable of the product or maybe had very good attendance, meaning that he or she always showed up and on time. Unfortunately, that excellent agent who got promoted to supervisor does not know how to communicate with an individual or a team, doesn't have leadership, cannot control his or her temper, and sometimes make good employees leave the company because of the way he or she treats people. And that's what's happening on most call centers. I know that there are some very good supervisors that are absolutely the opposite, but they are very few. So being an excellent agent or being good at doing your job doesn't make you qualified for being a supervisor. A supervisor should go through different trainings or tests before being promoted for such position. There are plenty of other ways a company can reward a great agent without affecting business, but since becoming a supervisor is one of the best ways to get out of the phone, most people would go for it. Number three, the language. Most people working at a call center are not native English speakers. They have an accent that is unfamiliar to the American. They are not really easy to understand. That doesn't make them unqualified, but Native Americans are very picky when it comes to language. They want native speakers. Call centers sometimes want to hire native speakers, but that's not easy, unless they only need 5 to 10 people to work. But when a client wants up to 100 people or more on the phone, it's impossible to have all of them with good, excellent, or native English. So, to satisfy the demand, they sometimes accept fair or even broken English speakers. Most call center workers study English in language school or institute, so even if they have very good knowledge of the language, communicating with Americans is sometimes a problem for them. It is becoming more difficult to find good speakers because of the amount of call centers that need people to work. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you know about other problems that I'm not aware of, please let me know in the comments. It was Steph with the call center channel.